here. We have done it. We have made it. It is officially Monday, February the 6th, 2023. I am James. You are you. We are here. And what are we doing tonight? Well, it's everybody's favorite. It's a good old-fashioned panel episode. What are we talking about tonight? I have sent out earlier today a question, an order, a demand. I want your inquiries, your curiosities, your problems, your questions, your conundrums. I want things that you need advice for, because tonight we are going to solve your problems. Now, in the past, we have done James Solves Your Problems night, but who am I to think that I am all-knowing? Who am I to think that I have got all the answers? I wanted to spread the wealth and open it up to a variety of ideas and opinions. So who else is on the show? Well, there's no time like the present to introduce our panel tonight. It's a trio, a triad, or as perverts refer to them as, a threesome. Let's please welcome Racquel Belmonte and Marilyn T. Welcome back. This is a true dream team.
Yep.
Prior to going on air, Dave Kaufman, tonight's technical director, said, well, I'm not going to mute anyone. Racquel, you couldn't even make it through the intro without having a good old-fashioned snort laugh at the term threesome.
That's on you. You shouldn't have said threesome. I feel like the warning was for you.
You know,
I feel like Dave knows who I am as a person.
I acknowledge what I did, and I promise to do better, but not only do better, be better.
Yeah. Accountability is important. It's 2023. True.
Yeah, and I would like to bestow both of you as my duo accountability officers tonight. Marilyn, it's the first time in a long time since you've been here. I noticed that you didn't laugh when I mentioned threesomes.
I don't want to get into this. Do I need to justify? Is that the first question?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking for advice here. Marilyn, why is it that you didn't laugh when I mentioned threesomes?
No, I'm sure I made a face. There must have been a face.
Yeah. You made the face and Racquel made the...
Yeah.
There.
A sleep apnea noise. I'm going to clean it up. Some people would say a swine noise. I'm going to say a sleep apnea noise.
That's nice. Thanks.
Well, we've got a very important job tonight. When I sent out the questionnaire today on our social media platforms, I said, is there anything that you're having an issue with, that you've got a problem with, that you need advice with? As soon as I sent it out, spent about an hour kind of going back and checking in. I saw that no one was sending anything in, and I thought, oh no, what's going to happen? What are we going to talk about for an hour? And then luckily, the answers and the curiosity started coming in, and I'm very excited for what's about to happen. I want to start with you, Racquel.
Yeah.
How confident do you feel in your advice-providing abilities, or possibly lack thereof?
Listen, James, if I'm known for one thing in my friend group and family group, there's a few different ones, but my specific immediate family group, I'm advice guy. Believe it or not, those cucks ask me for help.
Now, this, I just want to say, might be the
confident.
first time in recorded history when anyone referred to their family as cucks.
They know who they are.
Okay, well, we're outing them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is your place to do it, Racquel, but I trust that they have entrusted you with the power to out them as cucks.
Yeah, they know who they are. I come from a long line of cucks. However, that's why I am not one. And that's
Find
why
that
I
out on Ancestry.com.
Yeah, 23andMe said you're not a cuck.
All right.
No, but I think that's why I am eligible to give great advice.
Understood.
Is it advice you want to hear? I don't know.
Well, and this is the thing. No one needs to take this advice tonight.
No,
Marilyn, they should? Okay, well, there we go. Marilyn, you might have a more reasonable take. How do you, or rather, how would you rank your ability to provide what you believe to be good advice on a scale of 1 to 10 Jameses? 1 James being the least, 10 Jameses being the most.
I never thought about this before, and now I wonder. I'm going to say I'm probably in the 5 to 6, James. Like, I think people will listen to me. Yeah. Like maybe providing the advice, but then I don't know if I'm giving the good advice or not.
Right. I will say this, Marilyn. I would go to you for advice. I think if we were backstage or we were somewhere, we were at a barbecue coffee, I'd say, let me get your opinion on something, Marilyn. And I think you would have an interesting perspective because I
Oh,
believe you to be a very level-headed person.
oh, well, thank you.
There we go.
I
Now,
agree.
Racquel, I think it would be interesting because I think if I was asking you for advice, I don't know why, but I feel drawn to the feeling that you and I would then both begin to disparage whatever I was looking for advice from or to. Right? It's like, yeah, this person, they've been bothering me. What should I do? And you'd be like, yeah, you tell that cuck to go suck a toilet.
Yeah. Tell him to kill himself. Like, I'll probably say something awful. I'll kill him is what I'd say. And then she'd be like, okay, I'll never ask her for advice again.
Or maybe you're the only person I would ask advice from. I'd go back to that person. I was like, I've been thinking about it. I've been talking to some people. And what I've landed on is you should kill yourself.
No, don't say that. I was trying to find a way to apologize for
Understood.
saying
See, but this advice, now that you're giving me good advice here, you're saying don't say that.
Yes. The people who give advice, the people who give the best advice make mistakes. Yes. A lot of mistakes publicly.
Now, I want to mention something here. I've received a lot of sort of discussion topics for advice, but we're not limited to what we've got pre-established. If you're in the chat and you're watching, send some stuff our way and we can talk about it. Just know that if you do it in the chat, you will be outing yourself. I have kept everyone's identity for the advice hidden. A couple of questions already coming in from the chat. Boss Fracture, a legend viewer of this show, says, what is barbecue coffee, James? I want to be clear. Me and Marilyn are not drinking barbecued coffee. I was merely hypothesizing on maybe we are at a barbecue or we are having a coffee. Although I would drink barbecued coffee. Just sounds like coffee that's made on top of a barbecue, maybe by way of a bialetti.
That might be delicious.
I think so, right? Racquel, as an Italian person, a barbecued coffee by way of a bialetti.
That sounds bellissima.
Yeah. And then, Marilyn, I know that you have a penchant for Bialetti-based coffee as well.
Exactly, yes.
There we go. Are we ready for our first question? Someone's looking for advice, and this, dare I say, is very steamy.
Oh!
Here we go. I have 2 crushes. What would the panel advise me to do? Having one crush is hard enough. Now, crushes have been coming up a lot lately on the show. And we've got some firsthand accounts here. Not only does this person have a crush, they have 2 crushes. What do we advise that they do? Racquel, I want to go to you because you talked about a couple weeks ago having many crushes at the same time.
Yes, I famously have at least 10 crushes at a time. I think, here's the thing, I don't think having a crush is a big deal. So what is this person intending on doing with the crush? I will say this, though. My only rule is those 2 crushes better not be somebody your friend dated, or they better not be someone your friend is dating. And then you can go from there, assess the situation. Why not play both of them at the same time? See what works, see what doesn't. Throw shit at the wall, what sticks?
So basically, do anything and everything.
Only if they're removed from you in a,
I want to get back to that topic here, but first I want to go to Marilyn. Marilyn, what do you think? This person has 2 crushes. What do they advise that we do?
I liked Racquel's opinion on this. I thought I was really interested. Like, slowly work at it just to get to know, to see if you can go somewhere with this.
Yeah. I land very similarly because, Racquel, you've opened up a variety of possibilities. There's one I want to touch on. You mentioned they can't be someone that your friend has dated. What if there's a long period of time that's passed? What's I guess the statute of limitations on if you could be with someone that your friend was with? Because I think it depends on, did they go on a few dates? Did they have a threesome?
You're right. You're absolutely correct. You just wanted to say threesome again, I think. I don't think you meant that. So I will say this. When I say assess the situation, I mean that counts too. Okay, let's say I have a crush on one of my friends' ex-boyfriends. That's inappropriate, I think. They dated for more than a couple years.
But then inappropriate?
No.
Is pursuing
acting on
inappropriate?
Pursuing it. However, However, if it's one of those things where, love is love, you can't get in the way of that, you better man up and have a little conversation with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that. Communication is important. Don't go doing
Don't go chasing
stuff.
waterfalls.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
My God.
That was beautiful.
That was really quite
awesome.
Nice. And it felt like I was transported to like a really rich 16-year-old girl who's like, I want karaoke for my Sweet 16. And she's been practicing that TLC song for many years.
And
remember that show, My Sweet 16? It was all these like rich young ladies.
I'm gonna spread my wings, Sweet 16. It's my chance to shine, Sweet 16. Yeah, I know the show. Anyway,
I think this is something you should pursue as a solo sketch, Racquel, although people might look at you as a boomer.
Oh no.
Marilyn, I want to go to you because we're getting off the beaten trail here, but I like it. Do you think that there is a way in which someone could approach someone who dated the person they have a crush on, right? You want to talk to person A because you've got a crush on person B, but A and B were together. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I feel like Racquel really covered the subject. And people say it in the chat. You sound like an expert here. And I want to agree with this because I feel that either you have the experience or you just know. You just know how it works out there. Yeah. So personally, I don't know. I feel that it's all doable. It depends. Yeah. Some people are easier to talk to. You kind of know your friends maybe also. Like, are they people that you can actually have this conversation with or maybe not? And that really depends on the people.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's an important thing to mention, right? Are these people the type of people you can have the conversation with? So the question is, do we feel this person should approach their crush and tell them about it? Because I veer towards Racquel in the sense that I think most people know what type of crush they have, where it's like, oh yeah, I feel a little spark, but I recognize that this is not something that I'm looking at. Like, I have to tell them how I feel. Otherwise, I will one day be on my deathbed and I will be regretting this. Now, this is what was left out. We don't know how serious this crush is, right? Perhaps neither of these people this person has a crush on. There's this thought of, oh yeah, there's potential here, or they just make me feel nice.
I was going to say that right now, in this time of cold, having a crush is good for your inside, maybe for your little heart, for your little brain. So maybe it's just a good feeling to have as well. And having two, double that feeling. Why not?
Yeah, and I'm gonna come out here right now. Over the past 48 hours, I felt a little crush to a person. But here's the thing. There's nothing. I'm not going to do anything about it because I know the feeling. It's like, oh, this was just a nice little conversation. It was with a stranger. I know what it is. We'll talk about it off air.
Okay, don't do that to me.
Talk about it off air. But I would never approach this person because it's like, oh, it's similar, when you're getting served by someone at a restaurant or a bar or a cafe and you leave and you're like, oh, maybe I'll go back to that cafe tomorrow, right? That's the extent of the interaction, but I didn't leave being like, oh my God, I have to, it is what it is. And it's like Marilyn mentioned, a nice little thing.
Yeah. I would like to tack on to that. I think it's okay to have those nice little things and to view it as a nice, first of all, we should also, after I say what I'm about to say, we should talk about the different kinds of crushes. Because I think
because right now we're talking about an NLT, a nice little thing.
Nice little thing, NLT. It can be a nice little thing. And that can just be like your own, your own little personal, that makes me feel nice. And you can see what happens with that. Those, you can take your time with those. You don't have to pursue shit, which is really nice.
Yes.
And then in addition to that, those you can always have. I feel like I have most of my crushes, I say, I think as we're talking out loud, are those NLTs. I got a lot of NLTs.
Yeah, nice little things. And this is the issue we have with this question. We don't know the severity of these crushes. Is one greater than the other, vice versa. Marilyn, let's finally go to you before we move on to our next topic, because unfortunately, we don't have the dirty details necessary to provide true advice. We've given options. It's a buffet of options and solutions. Marilyn, let's go to you to close this one up.
I have nothing to add, really.
Well, I'm going to toss this one in.
Oh.
Racquel, let's go to you first.
No. You toss your thing in, and maybe it's something I was going to say.
Yeah, you know what? This is good because I feel like let me go to the chat and then we round it out with a panel member. Our friend Joe Conto is in the chat, unless there's someone named Jay Conto who has stolen Joe's identity. Joe is contradicting what I'm saying. He writes, I almost feel like having a crush on a waitress or a barista doesn't count because it seems to happen to me all the time, especially in Montreal. I think it's a crush. You got an NLT. It's a nice little thing.
It's just like on one end of the spectrum of crush,
yes.
I think. I think it's like maybe the last little, the first step, and then there's like full-blown crush here.
Yes.
I have a boyfriend, and I get those NLTs all the time. Is that cheating? No.
I don't think it is. No.
No,
we're entitled to our feelings.
No, and that's why I'm like, they're not severe at all. They do. Joe's right. They kind of barely count in a way because nothing's happening.
Which I think makes them nice. I think that makes it nice. You don't have to. I'm not going to go to bed tonight being like, oh my goodness. I'll probably never think about it again.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, let's go to the chat.
That you wanted to go back to that cafe though.
It was not a cafe. I will be clear. It was not a cafe.
Where was it? No, tell us after.
We'll
put in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put it I'll put it in our production chat. We've got a question based off of this, which I think is great because we have asked the people 4 questions in the chat. This one comes from Boss Fracture. What do you do if a crush lives in a different country and you can't see either of you moving? Now, this is very specific because it's one thing to be, what if you're in a long distance relationship and the prospect of one person moving is more difficult? This is what if you have a crush in another country, or we'll just say province or things like that. A crush in another country or province, moving for a crush is big, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. That means you're like working on it more seriously. Then maybe, you can visit. And then if you're really, both of you are getting to know each other. But I feel that for the whole, when you start visiting people and it gets it's already a little serious. A little more.
It is. Racquel, you're in this situation right now.
Well, I'm in like a full-blown relationship with someone. It's not a crush. An FBR, full-blown relationship. But I agree with Marilyn, because when you start making those big purchases to fly across the country or fly, province to province and take weeks out of your schedule to spend time with them and put your life here on hold, I think that's a big deal. I think you've past crush territory. I think it's fun to have crushes in other cities or states. Yeah, I've dabbled a little bit. And I'll say what's fun is you can do your thing where you live, but you also have this fun little person you can talk to every now and then.
Fun little person, FLP.
FLP, fun little person.
I will add this, a fun thing to, well, I mean, because usually you're in a, when you travel, I feel that people are more relaxed. Having crushes on trips.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a classic. That is a classic.
Yeah.
Trip crush, because it's very inconsequential.
Best kind of crush, I'd argue, is a trip crush.
Oh my God.
It goes trip crush, and then like coffee shop barista crush.
Yep.
And then weed guy crush.
Coming in from the weed guy.
I don't know why I always find the hot weed guys. They never want anything to do with me, but
that's totally fine. No judgment here. Boss Fracture, who asked the question, writes, we love an FLP. I don't even remember what an FLP was.
Fun little person? No, what was it?
Yeah, I don't recall. Let us know what the FLP was. There's been too many acronyms. Coming in from the chat, Joe Conto writes, it is the best and worst thing about living in a tourist town. Joe lives in Lake Placid, New York, classic tourist town. Goes on to say, because truthfully, you are sometimes the recipient of the trip crush. I love this topic. Now, coming in from the chat, another question. Has anyone ever confessed their crush to anyone? I have never confessed a crush. I will say that.
I have, but only after they had confessed to me first.
Okay, so you're like, oh my God, we wasted so much time. We could have been.
No, I mean, like, they'll have to say something to me, and then I'll be like,
Understood. Yeah, I mixed up the order of
Yeah,
Marilyn, how about you? Have you ever done a crush confession?
Oh yeah.
How did it go?
Uh so like, I mean, not, I don't think in recent times, but definitely like I feel I was a lot gutsier when I was a bit younger, and it was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's just put it out there and see what
Yeah.
happens.
And
And it
that's
has created like relationships or
yes.
friendships and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to shoot your shot sometimes, but I do believe that there are times when we don't confess it, and maybe that is the right thing to do, where it's like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this is going to benefit me for the long term. If I think about it like a Hallmark movie or a romantic novel, yeah, when I hypothesize or I create the narrative, it's like, oh, this makes total sense. Now, this has sparked a lot of questions in the chat. This is very much in line, but also off center. What if you have a boyfriend, but you have had sweet dreams of another? I don't think it matters.
Yeah, the
You might want to,
subconscious
you might
is a
want,
weird thing, right? I mean, you can't control your dreams, and I
no,
mean, I feel that I dream about the people actually around me, like coworkers, like improv people, and it's the
nice.
real weird dreams, and nothing about it.
RWDs, real weird dreams.
Someone write that down before we forget, because
Yeah.
we're gonna come back to that. I think if it's your subconscious dreaming in your sleep, your REM, you can't control that. But if you're
No.
daydreaming about somebody else,
Ooh,
then that's
Mamma
different.
mia.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
That's our spicy meatball of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what it is you have to really gauge, okay, you're laying beside the person that you're with. You have to think about, well, am I going to tell this person that I had a dream? Sometimes it's just not worth it, because sometimes insecurities flare up in ways that are at times unreasonable, even when we know they're unreasonable.
Sure. Yes. Agree.
I believe it's time that we can now move on to our next topic. Now, Marilyn, I mentioned off air that there's a topic, I think it's specifically for you. I will say this is not as exciting as our previous topic. Question is, how do I find a trustworthy subletter? Now, Marilyn, you've moved around a lot.
We could
Do
say,
you have advice for the do's and don'ts, or maybe the red flags or green flags of finding a trustworthy subletter?
I mean, that's a crazy question nowadays. I feel like, no, but it's, I mean, okay, so it depends, I think, if you're an owner or if you're just a renter yourself. Because if you're an owner, like especially in Quebec, like it's a big deal to sublet. I mean, because there's these whole laws where people can actually stay there for a longer time unless you
Yeah.
really like write things down. So, I mean, it's, I mean, you can do a lot of research, but there's
Yeah.
also something about like how you feel about the people. But you could do a lot of research, actually.
Yeah,
Also.
I have never sublet my home, but I really feel like it would just be the eye test. Have a conversation and think, well, person seems like they're on the level. I think we all generally have a pretty good gauge of who might be a weirdo. Now, Racquel, I want to go to you. What are you meddling with over there?
Oh, can you hear it? I'm sorry.
I can I make a prediction?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, does it have something to do with drugs?
No. Well, maybe in long, like it's an effect of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, my lips are really dry, and I noticed there's a chapstick at the bottom
See, now
of my
I thought
pen.
that was a bong you were holding.
No, I don't do
It looks-
bongs.
When looking quickly, it does look like a bong.
I had no idea what that was. I was like, is that like a, yeah, I don't want to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you know,
Oh,
Marilyn,
no.
here's the
This
thing,
is a
yeah.
highlighter for an 8-year-old. You're both disgusting.
Hold on, Racquel, be honest. Are those anal beads?
You wish they were anal beads. My asshole's too small for this. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, if anyone has advice for Racquel on what to do.
Yeah, how can I fit my beautiful highlighter up my ass? Sound off in the chat. Jesus Christ.
I feel like people are going to jump in. Olive oil, coconut oil, coconut butter.
Oh, I have both.
Racquel, let's go to you.
Yeah.
The topic is, how do you find a trustworthy subletter?
Great question. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Well, this
I'm
is
gonna
why.
tell you.
Yeah, I want to go back to Marilyn, because
Yep.
I don't just say this on the show to say it. I did truly tell Marilyn, I've got a topic for you, because I know that you are extremely well versed in renter affairs. You've been to, I believe, the Régie de Rent. You've been to Renter's Court. I think you've had some rental disputes.
as well. Yes.
Yes, Marilyn.
No,
Yeah.
no, but I tried. I mean, it's a big deal. Like, I mean, in Quebec, it feels like we're protected, like renters,
Mhm.
but it's like it's a big deal. It's complex. But one thing I would say that maybe we don't use enough, and I don't know if it can be completely legit, but it's like references could work.
Mhm.
But again, it depends for how long. Are you renting your place out for 2 weeks?
Mhm.
Just because you want to get a bit of rent money,
Yeah.
or it's like a long term thing? Then you can go through different avenues depending on what it is.
Right.
But you're right, like, I've
Yeah.
gone through and I've given advice to, like, a bunch of people. If anybody
I've been in
has
situations in which you were giving advice to a mutual friend of ours about what to do during an upcoming renter's court case. And that's why it's fate that you were on this episode, Marilyn, because when I got that question, I thought, I can't answer this. And I don't know if Racquel has experience.
No.
This person got very lucky, and I feel like it's a perfect segue to move on to our next question. This is a very interesting one. It comes with a little fire.
Oh.
And the question is, how do you explain to someone that believing in karma is for losers? So I guess this person is dealing with friends or family that are like, you know what, karma is going to come around, or I've got good karma. And I guess they want to break the news to this person like, hey, it's in their opinion, it's mumbo jumbo. So how do you explain to someone that believing in karma is for losers? I guess the question is, we have to kind of explain our own personal beliefs here. Racquel, do you believe in karma? Because if so, this person might think you're a loser.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, do I wholeheartedly believe what goes around comes around? Yeah, I think if you're a bad person, bad
Yeah.
things, maybe not bad things will happen to you, but
Well,
you'll
you're
be
setting your
very unhappy.
if you're
Yeah,
just if you're a bad person, you're running the risk of people plotting revenge on you, right? So what
totally.
goes around could come around just by virtue of the dice that you're rolling.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe I do believe in karma. I feel like there's more to that definition. What is the definition, tried and true definition of karma? What goes around comes around, or is there more to it?
Well, I think karma is both good and bad, right? If you're
Yeah.
someone who, is kind to people, if you project positive energy in the world, positive energy will come back, which I do agree with, but I don't know if I would define it as karma, right? If you
Yeah.
approach things in a positive way, of course, bad or negative things are going to happen to you, but if you treat people with kindness, odds are people will most likely be kind to you in certain situations. Marilyn, what do you think? What do you think about karma? Do you believe in karma? Do you have an answer for this person?
I don't really believe in karma in the sense that I know that life is, like, kind of tough and unfair generally, but I do think that it's a weird thing. We need to have kind of like an optimistic, positive outlook to
Mm,
just go through the motions of life in
yeah.
a way. So I think that, believing in karma is also, like you said, making you possibly more positive, probably
Mhm.
kinder, nicer. So it's probably a good thing. But in the real, if somebody wants to be real scientific about it, like, I think it's that's not how it works. Because,
Yeah,
like, I don't know, like, karma's a bitch for so many people out there, so it's like not
sure.
happening, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, Raquel, you mentioned what is the definition? We've got help from Joe in the chat, and Joe
Okay.
writes, I think what you're talking about is dharma, spelled Dharma. He goes on to say, karma is being rewarded or punished in the next life.
Oh, in the next life. So like
Yeah.
if I died and became like an
You get
animal,
reincarnated as a butt plug or something.
which is my dream, might I add. Oh
Well,
my God.
you gotta, behave in this current world
I like
kindly.
become a
Otherwise, you'll
saint
never
just so
get
I
your
can become a
wish.
butt plug.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so Dharma is what I said?
I think that's what we are talking
Oh,
about,
what we are
right?
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you
Okay.
put out is maybe in some ways likely what you'll get back. If you
Yeah.
put out the negative, you'll get the negative back, and vice
In, in,
versa.
in a shorter time frame, like, karma is like a different life, so it's in a way it's a bit about believing, like, will you go to heaven or something, right?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think the whole karma thing, and if people, I don't know if that makes people, like, again, be kind or behave better
Yeah.
because they have this belief, then I say, like, okay, sure.
Well,
Yeah.
let's go back to the question as it is. How do you explain to someone that believing karma is for losers? So that's what they're looking for advice for. How would you do it? Do you just say to someone in the way that you'd confess you have a crush on them, look, I understand that you're into this sort of thing, but I think it's for losers. Sounds like you'd get bad karma for doing that.
Yeah, if somebody really wants to say this to somebody, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean,
You can say it, but it might not end well.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the person who asked this question doesn't know what karma is, and they just learned the true definition of it, and they're talking about dharma, which makes me think this person should probably just not say anything at all. Maybe keep your opinion to yourself, because if what we learned from this conversation is that karma is based on like what you believe personally.
Yep.
In terms of like, religion, et cetera, who the fuck are they to tell someone their idea of karma? Yeah, who the fuck are you? Who are you? I'll fight you.
I said it was a fiery question. Marilyn, do you have any final thoughts on this topic? How do you explain to someone that believing in karma is, quote, for losers?
Yeah, I just would like to see this happening, like to see this conversation, but at the same time, it just feels like it feels like it's a bully who's like, no, you don't be happy, don't be, you know what I mean? Of course, it feels like it's a concept that it's just like we don't even know why we're here, like where we're living, like humans and stuff like that. So it becomes very philosophical. Like I'd like to see this argument happening, and to see somebody say this to their old grandma, a little 5-year-old kid who has dreams. Like I just want to see this, and it feels ridiculous.
I just want to say that, Marilyn, this outfit you're wearing with this backdrop you've got, the hair slicked back, the glasses, it feels perfect for what you just spoke about. We are still coming to understand why we are here. I think you've got to. What are you trying to promote the Illuminati? Is that what this is? Let's move on to our next question. Looking for advice. When Quebec bans English, now for people who are not from here, I do not believe that's something that is going to occur, but hey, who the hell knows? When Quebec bans English, tell me about the parts of Ontario that aren't boring. So perhaps this person is thinking about moving to Ontario. Well, there's plenty of parts of Ontario that are not boring. I mean, Toronto is not a boring city.
No, I have fun every day.
Yeah. I would say that while Ottawa is not the most exciting place, I could think of far worse places to live than Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Like if I was living in, Cornwall, Ontario, I would think that's pretty rough. I guess the benefit would be you're close to Montreal. Racquel, let's go to you. How would you advocate for Toronto not being boring? And would you like to add any other Ontario cities to the list?
At this moment in time, I would not like to add any Ontario cities to the list, because you said the two that I know best: Toronto and Ottawa.
Yeah. Maybe I've never been. I've heard good things about Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh, I have friends from there, but from Hamilton, they moved to the city and their families out there. So I think Toronto's so fun. I think there's something to do all the time. Like, for example, today I was looking up like things to do on Valentine's Day. And there were things that I never even knew existed in this city. There's like a spaghetti disco place. There's a candle making place. Yeah, there's like tons of pottery. There's like a ravioli making class. Like, and it's all near my house, and there's tons of it, which I think is wonderful.
Well, and this is the thing, boredom is subjective, right? Because someone could move to small town Ontario and thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Marilyn, let's go to you. Do you have any suggestions for places to move in Ontario that are, quote, not boring?
Okay, I've not gone to Ontario tons of time. Like I've enjoyed myself in Kingston. It's like a university town, and it's like near the Thousand Islands. It looks like you could have a good time there. Or also, I feel that the Guelph, like that kind of lower peninsula, has like a little nice weather, better like micro weather pattern thing going on there. That could be interesting.
But, I'm going to throw Sarnia, Ontario into the list. I went one time in my life. It was for a funeral, and I'll never forget the sign upon entry said, Sarnia, Ontario, the kissing capital of Canada.
Wow.
So if you're out there and you want to have a hot makeout, Sarnia, Ontario is the way to go.
What the hell?
That's really funny because for me, Sarnia is like a whole like oil pipeline type place. So
Oh
that's
my
very
God.
funny that
Close to Michigan.
yeah.
Now, also coming in from the chat, Joe writes, I like Stratford, Ontario, and Niagara on the Lake. How do we miss Niagara Falls? It's a tourist trap, but it's not boring.
Niagara on the Lake's fun.
There we go.
I've had some fun times there.
Now, what about Kitchener-Waterloo?
Don't know where that is. Don't care.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a bit techy, right? It's also a university town. That's where
Sure.
Blackberry was for a while. It used
That's
to
true. Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Whoa.
what about North Bay, Ontario?
Never heard of her.
Yeah.
I'm curious about Sault Ste. Marie. Is that the
True.
note
Yeah.
or place? Actually, even Thunder Bay. There's a lot of people from like Scandinavia allegedly over there, and they have some like Scandinavian traditions over there.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, this has been a real Visit Ontario. Capture your wildest dreams now. And then there's like a sound effect of a loon. And it was this was paid for by the NFB.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Move on to our next question. Now this is I debated closing with this one. It's maybe the most upsetting question, but we have to ask because it was asked of us. I am on vacation with my mom, and she won't wear underwear and keeps flashing me by accident. How do I get her to stop? Now, I know who sent this. This is not a gag or joke question. I know that this person is on vacation with their mother in a warm climate.
How warm? Where is it?
I'll just say that they speak Spanish in this country.
Okay.
Well, also, is this person like always staring at their mom? Like,
yeah, what's the deal?
It's a great question. I know that they're sharing a bedroom. I know that. They're bunking in the same bedroom.
Yeah. So basically, now they know that this is happening, so they could avert their stare. Look outside. Look outside the patio door. There must be a great ocean view, a pool view.
That's
true.
Be
like, Mom, are you changing? Okay, I'm gonna get out. Time for me to head to the
exactly.
buffet.
Yeah. Or you're getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Right. And I just want to mention to people, the person who sent this in is not a contestant on MILF Manor.
I was gonna make that joke.
Well, make your joke, Racquel. Let's pretend I didn't make my joke. Racquel, what do you think about this person?
I can't because I liked how you said it. Now I have a question. Has this person tried telling their mother, hey, I keep seeing this. Maybe don't bend over so deep in front of me. Or maybe.
Now you think it's a deep bend. In my brain, it was something else.
Deep bend. Oh, okay. Well.
I thought it was kind of like, let me get out of bed. And when you shift out of bed and you're sitting at the edge of the bed.
Oh,
that's what I imagined. You're imagining like, drop my room key.
Yeah. Mommy dropped her room key. And that's what you'd find on MILF Manor. Now, listen, here's my other question. Yeah. I guess I need to know what the deal is with mom. Is she single? Like, is she like ready for it? And not for that person, but why don't you replace yourself with someone your mom can kind of have fun with? Go do something.
Right.
Go fucking do something.
Yeah.
Let your mom get railed.
I know more information about this. I'll add some information. This person's mother is with someone. They're all sharing the bedroom.
That's awesome. So then it sounds like they're the third wheel and they should let their mom get it.
So you think it's a sexual tactic?
Not for the mom to the son. I think it's the mom to seduce whoever.
Now, I want to be clear. I never mentioned one way or the other if this was a son or a daughter.
Did I say son?
You just said son.
Sorry, it just sounds like something a son would do. Anyway.
On MILF Manor.
MILF Manor. Yeah, I guess, also it's so hot if it's where I think it is. Like, grow up. Not the mom, the kid. Grow up. Take your underwear off too. No one's going to touch you. Your parents aren't into you. You're into each other. Sorry about it.
So to
And
be
in
clear,
the chat, somebody really wrote like by accident. Like, I mean, also, yeah.
Yeah, it was by accident.
Yeah.
But maybe their mom thinks they're hot and it's like they're in a nice place. They are wearing more revealing clothing and they want to flaunt their stuff for their partner who's also there. So maybe they're bending one way for one person, but the other person on the other side is seeing the other view. So
That's it.
Wow.
Marilyn won.
We were talking about threesomes earlier.
No, you were talking about threesomes.
Oh, that's
earlier.
correct. I was. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I guess how do I get the only thing you can do is ask, hey, I know that it might not be in your nature, but would you mind thinking about wearing underwear? That's all you can do. That's all you can really do. Or as Marilyn mentioned, divert your eyes in any situation in which you think you're going to get a flash of the goods.
Yeah.
That's pretty gutsy to get a room with your parents and like during a vacation, like share like 2 double beds. Like, I mean, you're not giving them a chance to like, enjoy their trip fully.
Yeah. And I say this as someone I've shared many a bedroom with Dave and his wife.
Well, I mean, it's probably a strategy for saving money. Well, you save money, but you're getting some things that you haven't seen in many years. There you go.
There you go.
Marilyn, I could not have put a button on it better. Let's move on to our next topic. This one, Marilyn, also deals with renter conundrums. Question is, I want a dog, but my landlord won't let me have one. What should I do? Marilyn, we got to start with you.
This is a big issue in Montreal. No, it is. It really is. I'm in there's a bunch of Facebook groups like to get like lease transfers and like stuff like that. And the thing is like, okay, I like animals, but I feel a lot of people got into getting like dogs, especially over the past few years, maybe because of the pandemic and having some companionship. But a lot of people are like actually saying like no animals at all, like in like different places. And it depends. I can understand because dogs can be disruptive of neighbors. So it depends how big the building is. They can also kind of like be a problem for the building itself, like the flooring and stuff like that. Like also it depends. But again, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, some landlords are better because if you tell them, oh, I'm just getting like this tiny dog, or I'm getting this old grumpy dog that sleeps all the time. Like there's our situation that are acceptable. But in general, people just don't like, like young, crazy dogs because they can be disruptive and they can kind of like, and also people like, so it's very difficult, I find.
And it also depends on what type of tenant you are as well. Cause I think this is very similar to, what do you do if you've got a crush? All you can do is plead your case, right? Walk up to the landlord. You say, look, I know that we don't allow dogs. I got this senior dog. They're going to put it down. It's only got a couple years left, right? I think in this case, it's probably less scary than admitting a crush. You just shoot your shot because you already know the answer is most likely going to be no, you can't have a dog. Racquel, what do you think? Do you want a doggy in your apartment?
I would love one, but I don't. I actually don't. I like the idea of a dog. Do I like the idea of cleaning somebody else's shit and like training an animal? No, I think that's insane. I would not do that.
Now, what if the dog also had a little butthole?
That'd be so cute, but I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Not into it. I agree with what you guys are saying. Plead your case. Why not? What's like, I've seen it work with people where they've been like, listen, here's the deal. I've had this dog forever, or my parents are going into like a home and I need to, and they've been like, landlords have been cool with it, or the opposite.
Yeah. But, the dog, the parents, none of them have much time left.
Yeah. No one, who does? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The other alternative is, I've been thinking about this a lot. What if we all just had like really rich friends who owned property, and then they can get dogs that you can go visit. They can have kids that you can go visit. Because I do agree with what you're saying, but I just like to play devil's advocate and provide another option.
I would love nothing more. I would love nothing more. This is what we need today.
Yeah, what because it would be so shitty to say, well, then move, which is what I was going to say, but I had to catch myself. I had to catch myself.
You can have both answers, right? Hey, you can move if you want to, or
make rich friends. Friends who've got it going on. They own property. Amazing. Convince them
RFs.
to get a dog.
Talking some RFs here.
You got RFs? Then maybe they can get a CD. Cute dog.
Or put yourself in a lot of debt and just buy a property yourself, just in order to get a dog. Yeah,
that's the thing. How bad do you want the dog?
Now, this is a cautionary tale. Our friend Jay Voorhees 88 in the chat writes, I have a dog, a puppy. I hate it. So hold on, though. You might be barking up the wrong tree, and I did not intend that to be a nerd pun. And I will say, Jay Voorhees 88, you sent me a text earlier. I was about to fade into a nap. I have forgotten to answer. I will answer it as soon as this show is over. Look at that. I keep myself accountable on the air.
That's good. That's what more men need to do that. Not girls. Girls are perfect.
Yeah. That sounds like
how Boss Fracture reuse FLP. Fun little puppy. That's
fun
really
little
fun.
puppy. Exactly. So Jay Voorhees 88, maybe you got to embrace it. It's a fun little puppy.
Fun little puppy. Be nice to that puppy.
Racquel, you brought up what more men need to do. Now, this final topic is very controversial.
Oh, I'm excited.
I almost didn't include it, but I'm going to do it. How do we solve the incel problem?
Kill them all. Literally kill them.
How would you do it? How would you do it, Racquel?
Oh man.
It's easier said than done.
No,
right
it
now,
is.
You're advocating for mass. I don't even think I should say this.
Don't say that. Incels are bad people.
Yeah,
incels choose to be that.
They're BPs.
They're BPs, and I don't have time for BPs.
They might have bad karma too.
That's the thing. Or
BP's got BK.
BP's got BK, and you know what? I don't care for it. So I'm thinking I'd like to maybe do, because incels are not very nice people. I've met quite a few incels and they are awful. They are rancid human beings. And I'm sure, there's a lot worse.
RHBs.
Maybe there's some that are not RHBs. Anyway, what if we treated them the way they treated everyone else? Maybe we do a little bit of torture first. We send them, Racquel, I'll buy a house.
Racquel, I want to say this. I don't mind what you're saying. We got to really walk a tightrope.
Torture incels? That's fine.
With the terminology we're using.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, maybe the words. Yeah. Can you express your sentiment in
emotionally manipulate or fuck with?
I love
torment.
It. I love that.
Torment.
Love it. Yeah.
Yes.
Emotionally torment. That's perfect.
Yes, because I feel like that will break someone more than well.
Okay. Now, I will say this. Now, coming in from the chat, there's a great devil's advocate opinion here. Someone writes, that would create more incels. And I do think that's true.
Kill them too?
You can't say the K word.
Why?
Yeah. Just, we got to think about our TOS here. Emotionally manipulate.
You're right.
Again, I'm not advocating for the, I don't want to be a spokesman for the incel community here. Now, this
starting
is
to sound like you
one. Naive Adventures writes, put them all on an island with Andrew Tate, but then he might be their leader.
Wait, what was the question again?
Yeah, what?
But the formulation, like I just.
Yeah. How do we solve the incel problem?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think what Racquel was really trying to say was, I think we just got to hear them out.
No. The opposite. No, don't put words in my mouth.
Hold on, Racquel. We're gonna go to Marilyn now.
I don't have a strong opinion on this, just because. But I mean, I like this idea of the thing is, when you identify as an incel, I feel like it's too late to do something.
Yeah, it's beyond reprise or beyond.
Yes, and that's very sad. So, but the thing is, I can see these people, needing a cult leader. So I like this idea of an island and just be all together, like be angry together, and then you'll
incel utopia.
Yes. But I mean, he needs to have no flights. They're just a one way and no out.
There's no return flights. You can't buy a round trip. And I wonder if there's any stopovers. Folks will be stopping over in Cornwall, Ontario. Racquel, let's go to you. You've got your hand raised like it's 4th grade math class.
I think
but not to ask a question about math. You're like, Mister, I need to go tinkle.
I would never say tinkle. I'm not a virgin. Anyways, so That was crazy.
I use the term tinkle all the time.
Well,
Oh,
listen,
no. It's
listen.
true. I'm a Volcel.
Wait,
Which is the
hold
better
on.
kind. It's the better one.
It is. That's like the nice kind. Like, no, I
Yeah.
choose this. Whereas the
Yeah.
other ones are like, nah. Anyway,
Yeah.
what if, okay, hear me out. I know I'm not allowed to say the K word, but let's say we do what Marilyn said.
What if we replace that? I just want to quickly jump in. What if we replace that 4-letter K word with another 4-letter K word that we replace LL with SS? Might solve the problem.
We send them to Sarnia, Ontario.
Yeah, the kissing capital of Canada. Racquel, I want to go to you. Let's finish our thought. Yeah.
Well, let's say everything that has been said so far, Andrew Tate is their leader and they're all just, being angry with each other on this island.
Yeah.
Naturally, they'll all either kiss each other
or they'll turn on each other.
They'll turn on each other. Yeah. Yes, let's do it.
I want to jump in here. I love this comment. This comment gets my kiss of the night, which I've forgotten to do in past weeks. Jay Voorhees 88 writes, I'm an incel, but that's what happens when you get married. I believe means he's not well, someone else who might be able to touch on that. Let's go to Dave Kaufman, who's just returned to the control center. Dave, what do you think? How do you solve the incel problem?
Sorry, I missed what's the problem?
The entire episode.
I missed the entire episode, yeah.
Yeah, we're looking for advice on how do you solve the incel problem?
Of men?
Well, incels, it's not 100% men. I'm sure there are far more incel men than there are incel women.
I think the first thing you got to do is you got to get people meeting each other in person and in social events, like at an improv club or Toastmasters or a curling club. So that's step one.
All right. So a couple possibilities are, let's get them socializing, let's get them integrated.
Yeah, let's get them integrated. Let's normalize it. Normalize being involuntarily celibate. So
I know you were such an advocate, Dave.
So that people don't feel comfortable in their own skin. And what happens when you're comfortable in your own skin? Well, people end up falling for you.
Right. Someone might confess a crush.
Yeah, a crush. And then suddenly you're not celibate no more.
Involuntarily.
Yeah. You're voluntarily fucking.
Oh.
And you're a good person to sublet an apartment and possibly get a job.
Yeah, you're integrated into society, and you can get a job, and
landlord might let you have a dog.
Yeah, and you can be a responsible gun owner at that point.
And if you're really good at this, you can maybe get to a threesome.
Hey.
Now, Dave, you've missed a lot of our callbacks in this moment.
Sure, yeah.
Now, Racquel, what do you think about Dave's ideas? We got to integrate them into society.
As long as they all get to kiss each other in the end. I don't mean kiss. I mean the other 4 letters.
What about an incel singles mingle? Like, why wouldn't that exist?
I feel like because that would be like a breeding ground for crime. What?
Now, Dave, what do you think about that? You're for integrating. Racquel is against an incel singles mingle. What do you think?
I like
as an advocate.
As an advocate and a sort of spokesperson for the community.
Jesus Christ.
I think I'm for it. I say, I'm not the most outgoing guy. Sure, I've been with a few ladies. I'm married. I have family and kids.
Now, I don't know if you heard, but Jay Voorhees claims incel status because he's currently married, meaning he no longer enjoys the fruits of lovemaking. Well, can you relate to his version of incelibacy?
Absolutely not. My marriage still has a spark, a flame that burns forever.
I'd love to see you attached to a lie detector right now.
Sure.
Coming in from the chat, Jay Voorhees 88 writes, Dave is a liar.
Dave has kids to prove it.
Yeah.
So I will say, so does Jay Voorhees.
I'm sexing all the time.
Ugh. So what do you think about
all over the place? There's not a surface in this house that's not
creamed?
It's not creamed.
Naive Adventures writes, I would sublet my apartment to an incel. There'd be no parties and no drugs.
That's
also
what,
coming in from the chat. Boz Fracture writes, I'm not going to read it fully. Actually, you know what, Dave? I want you to read the chat here because I feel like you'd be more liberal in the cursing. Would like for you to read Boss Fracture's comment, but also our real good pal, the real Andrew Mackay.
Dudes can kiss each other?
No, Boss Fracture.
That is Boss Fracture.
No, keep going.
The next one.
Okay, and then there's Dave is a liar.
Yeah.
And then Dave fucks and it shows. And
now
then
let's go to the real
Blacklight,
Andrew Mackay.
Prove it now. What?
Now what is the real Andrew Mackay? I teed you up so well and you're just,
Dave fucks.
Well, so this is our first strong debate. Racquel, what's your response to Dave here as an advocate?
As an anti-advocate for incels, Dave, I gotta say I'm a little disappointed.
Okay, so what do you think? What do you think should happen to these people?
Well, Racquel mentioned I said we really have to pick our language very carefully.
Apparently, I'm not allowed to say what I think can happen because
I'm
true. Being censored.
I said we have to pick some words other than kill.
Boo.
So anybody,
you can't
anybody
use the
who's
K
not
word,
having
you
sex,
can't show your backside.
Anybody who doesn't have an active sex life should be murdered.
No, hold on now, mister. They're the people
Racquel,
who are
it sounds
blaming...
like you didn't say that.
No, I'll call the police on both of you. I know where you live. I don't know where Day lives, but I'll fuck you up. Hold on. Let me just say.
I hope you mean Sting and Stuart Copeland.
Coming in from the chat, Jay Voorhees 88 writes, he's an advocate for them because he is an advocate for himself. He is one of us.
Jesus Christ. I think it's time for me to tap out. I have to watch MILF Manor. It's 10:04. I'm exhausted. My ADHD medication wore off minutes ago.
9:04? Racquel, it's 10:04.
I said 10:04.
She
I
said
thought you said
10:04.
9:04.
I said 10:04. Thank you.
My apologies.
So what's the deal? We wrapping up soon?
Well, yeah, we'll wrap up. Yes, dear.
Watch your mouth.
Marilyn, final thoughts on tonight, especially this final topic, because you and me feel like we've been less animated about it.
Yeah. Well, there's an issue with definition here. I mean, obviously, like I think that, yeah, I mean we mean like hardcore people who identify as such.
Yes.
Is different from people who don't, have an active sex life.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to end this way just to say that, we're really in a different kind of spectrum here.
Absolutely. Racquel and Dave as mortal enemies on this topic. Racquel, again, a anti-advocate, Dave, an advocate. Can we concede to what Marilyn mentioned?
Yeah,
sure.
I'm happy she said it, because then I started thinking, oh no, I don't want the little virgins to think that I'm shitting on them. No. I want the people who make it their whole thing.
Referring to them as little virgins is a little...
I don't mean that as a bad thing. That's adorable. I wish I was a little virgin. Why not?
That's another show on TLC, by the way, Little Virgin.
Little Virgin?
Yeah. Also, Incel Island is another show for TLC.
Yeah.
Oh.
Racquel admitted you'd watch it.
Oh, I'd watch every episode.
So would I.
I'd buy a subscription.
Would you watch DILF Island?
Yes, I would actually try and get I'd try and get on the show. I'm a big DILF guy. We've talked about this, fellas.
Well, this feels like a great place to end with Racquel coming out as a big DILF guy. Marilyn, final thoughts tonight. Do you think we've been able to give some proper advice?
I'd like to think so. And we'll see. We'll see what the response is. Let us know. Let us know if people come back and say, thank you, you've helped me.
Yeah.
I'd like to think 10 years from now, James is going to get a letter in the mail from a former incel. And you saved my life, James McGee.
I really didn't give any advice. I do tend to veer more towards Racquel's perspective on things. But Racquel, final thoughts tonight.
That's because you hate yourself.
Hey.
Oh, you gotta just sneak it in like
You
it is
know
a
what?
12th. That's because you hate yourself. It was the verbal version of why you hating yourself. Why you hating yourself. Racquel, final thoughts. Do you think we've helped some people tonight?
Yeah, I think a lot of people got lucky tonight who tuned in. So I'd like to say on behalf of Marilyn and myself, you're welcome. You
Wow.
got advice that therapy will never get you.
James, are we going to wrap this up? I got to go have sex.
Well, Dave, I want to know final thoughts.
Good luck to everybody out there. There's a gal or a guy or whatever for everybody.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Folks, that's our show. A quick note, we posted it on our Instagram account last week at Home with James show. Information on the live and in person At Home with James show is coming so soon. We have been having meetings. The progress is taking place. I sent Dave a very late night instant message last night saying how good I feel about things, and I never feel good about this sort of thing. So stay tuned. Information is coming ever so soon. Until then, that is Dave. That is Racquel. That is Marilyn. I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night. Goodbye. Farewell. And of course, be well.